Can bankruptcy save your house from foreclosure? Usually, the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is yes. It depends upon your situation. The reason the usual answer is no is that in the current crisis, the most common problem homeowners face is that their house has declined in value so much that the house is now worth less than the mortgage against it, and they simply can't make the payments. What these homeowners need is to reduce the amount of their mortgage payment every month very substantially. What they generally need is a reduction in the principal amount of their mortgage. As bankruptcy law is presently written, a homeowner cannot use bankruptcy to reduce the principal amount of the mortgage in the average situation. Thus, most of the time, we can't use bankruptcy to save your house from foreclosure, the most common situation. There are, however, at least 4 relatively common situations in which bankruptcy can be used, somewhat creatively, to save you from foreclosure. The first such situation is where you've got a great deal of debt, not just mortgage debt, but also unsecured debt, such as credit card debt, medical debt perhaps you're going through a divorce, whatever it might be. If your situation is, in addition to your mortgage, you have a lot of other payments you have to make every month, and if you got rid of those other payments, you could afford your mortgage, then you may well be able to file a Chapter 7, perhaps a Chapter 13, to get rid of the other debts and put yourself into a position where you can make the mortgage payment. That's a way to use bankruptcy to save your house from foreclosure. The second situation in which bankruptcy may save your house is if you have more than one mortgage. Many people today have junior mortgages. Usually, home equity lines of credit is where they came from, but they've got 2 or 3 mortgages against their house. In California and in a number of other states, if the current fair market value of your house is less than the total amount owing under your first and most senior mortgage, you can use bankruptcy to wipe out the junior mortgages. If that's your situation, bankruptcy can be very helpful to you. Third situation, and this is not as well known, but it can be very powerful if you're in this fact situation, is if your house produces income in some significant amount, you can use bankruptcy to reduce the mortgage against your house. The reason for this is a little bit strange. Under bankruptcy law is the distinction between business properties and your house. If a business files bankruptcy and needs to reduce the mortgage, it is able to do so. The mortgage against a business property can be reduced to the fair market value of the property. Not true of a house. However, if the house, the property you live in, let's say it's a duplex or a triplex, and you rent part of it out, or maybe it's a bed and breakfast, just for any number of reasons, if the house you live in produces income, separate and apart from the fact that it's your house, then bankruptcy law may consider it to be more a business than a house, and it may let you reduce the mortgage to the current fair market value. When that applies, it can be very powerful. The fourth and final situation in which bankruptcy can save your house from foreclosure is the following. If you've fallen behind in your mortgage payments, but you're now able to make the payments, and you just need some time to catch up on the amount you're behind, you can file a Chapter 13. This may happen. Let's say you lost your job for a while. You got behind maybe 6 months in your mortgage. You can now make the mortgage payments, but you can't catch it all up all at once. Well, Chapter 13 lets you, if you can make the payments on an ongoing basis, take some time to catch up. That's not the situation most people are in today, but if that's the situation you are in, Chapter 13 may be very useful for you.